Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about 4 things you knew before you were born. And these 4 things may actually explain you how to deal with the present challenges. If you're going through something, if you're in exchange of some heaviness through certain relationships with a certain person, and you may be wondering why this person is a part of my life. Well, this video will explain you why and what to do with that, because sometimes if we change our perspective, we see things more clearly. And sometimes if we actually expand our vision or what we're looking at, we recognize that we've been here before. We recognize that actually we have much more knowledge than we thought. Actually, we have much more experiences than we thought. Actually, we are much wiser than we thought we are. So let's tap into that wisdom. Let's meditate on that. Let's recognize what we actually know. Let's recognize what we've actually learned through our lives. And let's see in what kind of direction all those lessons are leading us, so we can stand in our dharma, so we can walk in our purpose, and we can fully embody what we've come here to do, right? So we'll go through different ancient traditions, we'll go through different ideas and concepts, and I will give you my explanation of that. So the first thing you knew before you were born was that you had a plan for this life. You had a plan. Before you were born, your soul engaged in a planning process where you've chosen your life circumstances, challenges, and lessons you want to learn in this lifetime. This planning was done with guidance of spiritual beings, your spiritual guides or spirit guides, your angels, some people call them that way. And we have many teachings that explain this process. We have people who are channeling, like Bashar, a great teacher for this concept. For example, Dolores Cannon was talking about it when she was doing past life regression therapies with thousands of people, and all people explain this same process from all around the world. So this is the process where you make a plan for your life. So it's like starting a project, just that this is a little bit bigger project than something you start today. But it's completely similar, like you start a project, something you want to initiate, and you make a plan, like in what kind of direction you want this project to go, what will be the challenges you will meet on that project, what you want to learn, who you want to become as the byproduct of the process, as this project will be evolving and transforming and becoming its potential. And usually if the project is a business, for example, you will have most probably certain people with whom you're collaborating. If you're not starting it alone, you will have friends, you will have your partner, or you will have someone who will help you to start that project. And life is nothing else but another project. And that's why you had pre-birth planning. You knew about the lessons you will move through. You knew what kind of people you will meet on the journey. You knew how you want to grow. You knew how to co-create this reality, how to align your thoughts, your emotions, and actions with your higher purpose and intentions. Actually, in some Native American cultures, there are beliefs in the idea of souls choosing their parents before birth, and this choice is believed to be influenced by the soul's purpose or destiny. So it's nothing new. You can go in any ancient tradition. You can go in ancient Egyptian traditions, ancient Indian traditions, Hindu. You can go in ancient Greek tradition, and you will still find those teachings. So it's nothing new. And if you study the work of people who are doing past life regressions, you will recognize that actually we've all chosen people we have in our lives. Your parents, your siblings, your grandparents, those are most probably your spirit guides. Have you noticed that maybe your parents have been always more challenging, but your grandparents have been the ones that were constantly looking up over you, constantly giving you some wisdom advices? Have you noticed that? It's because they are your spirit guides and your parents are your greatest teachers. Your parents are deeply connected to what you've been through in your past life, in your previous life. So give a moment of appreciation for the lessons. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. And actually there are ways to discover what you need to learn from those people through deep introspection, through deep reflection. If you just study your life until now and you ask yourself, what are the good parts you can take from people who hurt you? And what are the patterns you don't want to take into your future from people who hurt you? You will recognize that this understanding will change you. It will change you in a positive way. And if you apply those lessons and truly embody the wisdom that you've learned, you will notice that you've become a different person. And as you've become a different person, your reality will change. And because of our mirror neurons, people around you will notice the change. And when the change is positive, people feel inspired to do something similar as well. And what starts happening, people start waking up to a greater understanding. Oh, I should actually treat people with greater compassion. I should actually embody more kindness. I should actually embody forgiveness. I should learn forgiveness. I should learn gratitude, appreciation. I should actually practice morality, right? Where to find those teachings? And that's where we actually stop praising celebrities and start learning from great teachers, right? So many people go from praising celebrities to digging deeper into ancient philosophies and ancient teachings and psychology and psychiatry and spirituality and teachings of great wisdom, of laws of this universe and things like that, so we can discover why we've chosen to come here at this unique time. But not just that, to anyone who's waking up spiritually right now, you've actually chosen to come here at this time, and you knew this before you were born. You've chosen to come here at this unique time to guide the process of spiritual awakening, of human being awakening, human being of full potential awakening. You've come here to guide this process, but most probably you find yourself not being ready yet, maybe because you have to deal with your own traumas, with your own shadow side. So you have to acknowledge your heavy emotions and reflect on it and write down what you're going through, right? Study your triggers. One of the most important things you can do in this phase is study your triggers. Recognize who is triggering you and notice that it's not he or she that's a problem, but what part of you was awakened through him or her. And soon you will be able to express some gratitude and appreciation to that person, because that person showed you your wound that you couldn't recognize before. So now you can dive deeper into that wound and recognize what was unacknowledged before. Sometimes you can do it through another person, through a therapist, through a teacher, through a guide, or through your own writing, deep reflection. Never ignore that process, because it will reveal to you everything you need to know, and that is really powerful. The second thing you knew before you were born is your purpose. What will be that grand mission you're choosing for coming here into this interesting planet? And then you've come here and you've recognized all this dense energy and you've forgotten why you've come here, and then you've been through aging process and conditioning, and suddenly you've started acting like everybody else, until one day you've started asking yourself, well, why my life sucks? Why I feel like it's all so boring, it doesn't make sense, right? And you've started wondering, well, what if life has actually a bigger meaning? And what is that meaning? Who put us there? Who put us here, right? Why am I here right now? And what happened, your soul started activated its memories. But you have to access to them through your own free will. So nothing was revealed to you, but a reason for questioning. And that is a beginning of awakening. Many different things may activate people in this way, so they start questioning, but often souls with more experiences start waking up in their lifetimes, which means old souls start waking up so they can eventually start to guide others through the similar process of awakening. So you knew about your purpose or mission in life. And discovering and fulfilling this purpose is a significant part of your life's journey. In Hinduism, there is a concept of dharma. Dharma is the moral and ethical duty that each person is born with, and it is closely tied to one's life purpose. And fulfilling one's dharma is seen as essential to leading a righteous and fulfilling life. And I said a righteous and fulfilling life. In Taoism or Taoism teachings, Taoism teaches the importance of living in harmony with the Tao, the fundamental principle that is the source of everything. Finding one's purpose in Taoism often involves seeking balance, simplicity, and a natural way of being, which in nowadays language we could say seeking authenticity, seeking simplicity over all the complexity, making your life more simple, not more complex. And seeking balance, better word to me is moderation. Be moderate in everything so we can find the middle way. And the only way to really find this middle sweet spot of life is to try to go through trials of errors, right? To try different things. You may feel called to be an artist, but to be an artist, you will face with financial challenges, you will face with adversity, you will face with criticism. Maybe people around you will say, "What are you doing?" Until at some point you will find your own way. That's what I've learned. I found my own way. And it's not an easy process. Life is not an easy process. Actually, it's a hard process. That's why everyone who's chosen to come here is really well appreciated on higher realms, because on higher realms, there's a great understanding that life on this planet Earth is not an easy life. This is a really intense life here. And we know that. And it's meant to be intense, because when we go through those kind of experiences, they make us stronger, right? They help us to really work with energies, to really organize energies in the way that can be helpful and beneficial for our evolution. So we need to learn to organize, firstly, ourselves, our mind, our emotional system, and our actions. We have to learn to organize ourselves the way that we can serve what we feel called to do. And even to recognize our calling, to recognize our purpose, we have to firstly quit distractions, which is a main part of self-actualization. To recognize how much we are constantly distracting ourselves, how much we're addicted to external impulses of social media, of food, of anything we're consuming. Not that there's something wrong with all of that, but we have to gain a level of control over it. So then we can start navigating ourselves through all those processes of evolution to recognize what feels the most natural for us. Most probably as a little kid, you've been aware of that. And as a little kid, I know for myself, I was really creative. I was drawing all the time. Nobody actually pushed me to do the creative work, to draw, to lose myself in creative expression. I did it automatically. It was natural because I was artist before. This is something that to me is a second nature. So once we recognize what was natural for us as we were little kids, then when we go through aging process and we forget about this because of conditioning, at some point it's important to remember once again what feels the most natural and start doing it once again, and notice what will awaken through that process. Will you maybe feel a need to become an artist, to become a teacher, to become a leader, to become an entrepreneur, to become whatever you will feel called to do, and that's connected to your life purpose. The third thing you knew before you were born was the awareness of your other lives, of your past lives. The concept of reincarnation suggests that we have lived multiple lifetimes before our current one. And for example, in the work of Dolores Cannon, she was sharing the knowledge that past life experiences can influence our present life. In some Taoism beliefs, actually, there is a notion of immortality and the transmutation of the soul. So again, it's nothing new. Some Taoist texts discuss the idea of a soul that can reincarnate, progress spiritually, or become an immortal spirit. Again, like a spirit guide for others who decide to reincarnate here on this planet. So this is interesting information. Before you were born, you knew about your past experiences, past lessons. That's why you've chosen a certain mission. You've chosen a mission based by what you already know and how you want to grow so you can be of service for others. But of course you've forgotten it so you can learn it again, because the process of relearning something we knew before, like awakening of our pre-learned skills, can help us actually to understand ourselves much better. That's why it's so important to forget what we know so we can remember once again, because through the process of remembering, we learn to use our skills, we learn to use the knowledge, we learn to manipulate the energy, we learn to use our thoughts intentionally, we learn to build healthy habits, we learn to communicate with others, we learn to express ourselves through creative forums, so we can start building greater creation here. So we can actually start living our lives more constructively rather than destructively, as being influenced by our external world. And that is something really important. So many people may start to remember their past lives, may have some experiences of that through their dream times, through their meditations, but often our imagination can interfere in this if we have too much of beliefs around this and too little actual experiences around this process. So don't be so focused on who you were in your past life, but actually focus on your natural skills, natural talents, and anything that feels natural, because that's what is connecting you to the experiences from your past life or past lives. And by sharpening the skills, sharpening the talents, and building greater skills out of that, you will actually activate more of your ancient soul memories that will help you to live in service, live in purpose in this lifetime. That is something really important. By learning to manipulate the energy, as I said before, to use your thoughts intentionally, to channel your emotional energy into a higher frequency of joy, of gratitude, of inspiration, and to be intentional in action, you will activate more parts of your soul that will help you to embody your dharma, your purpose. And that's what you knew that you will do in this lifetime before you were born. And the last thing, the fourth thing you knew before you were born, is the connection you have to the universal knowledge. Again, for example, in the work of Dolores Cannon, who was a past life regression therapist, She said that individuals have access to a universal knowledge or wisdom while in a deep hypnotic state. She called this part of them the subconscious mind. This knowledge can provide insights and answers to questions about life and existence. So this is a part of us that can be taken back to the source. She was doing many past life regressions where she was guiding certain individuals through their past lives until they come back to the source. So we all have this knowledge from the beginning of our lives, and we're constantly plugged into it, but we have to learn to tap into it. So channeling usually helps us to download insights from that universal knowledge and bring information into our consciousness so we can acknowledge it, recognize it, and do something with it. But because most people don't look it as a responsibility, because having knowledge is a responsibility of using it righteously, most people look at spirituality also as something to be entertained by, and that's why it's so hard for people to access into this ancient knowledge. But once you start looking more seriously at the process of your self-awakening, you will recognize that awakening of your true self is actually a responsibility that is deeply connected with service to others, with help in evolution of society. You awaken a sense of responsibility, and that leads to a greater soul maturity that allows you to tap deeper into the universal knowledge that will help you firstly to improve your life and eventually will help you to be of service for others, to improve the lives of others on this planet. So this is an interesting topic to go deeper into it, and I hope you found something valuable today. I hope you found something inspiring today, maybe some answers. And I want to encourage you to do your own research, because life is so vast, so mysterious, and I only provide us insights to inspire you a little bit more to look outside of where you've been programmed to look, because there's so many answers actually hidden where maybe you're not looking at. So may this video inspire you to look where you feel called to go, and maybe at some point a great sense of knowledge and wisdom may find you that will reveal answers you couldn't find before. So my friends, I hope you found something valuable today. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion. The link is in the description of this video. Thank you so much. Until next time, one love.